The golden era of TikTok was 2020, 2021.
There was this thing in the algorithm where your first 4 posts are almost like test runs. And if it's great content, one of them might go. I posted one video, failed. Posted another one, it failed. Posted it 3 times, it failed. I was always being teased for my looks, my haircut. I had a eating disorder, and that I really told nobody about. Was number 4 in the world. 24 hours, 1 million views. Number 4 in the world off a snowball microphone with a sock over it and a USB plug mic. I was about to perform in front of 30,000 people. 10 hours before the show, my father had a heart attack. Nobody knew what was going on.
You prove that resourcefulness matters more than resources. What advice would you give to a kid out there trying to pursue their dreams?
This is fucking crazy. This is gonna blow your mind.
RealestK is Toronto's secret, capturing the hearts of millions with his raw, emotional R&B sounds. From seeing massive viral success on TikTok to collaborating with NAV and earning cosigns from The Weeknd, RealestK is one of the most exciting new voices in music today. Hi, man.
All right.
RealestK.
What's up?
Thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure to be in your presence.
Thank you.
You're
Likewise.
a young legend in the making.
Likewise, man.
Dude, I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
You and I share similar ethnic roots, you know? You're Lebanese, right?
Yeah, Middle Eastern.
Man, you know, first off, I didn't realize how young you were. Like when I was doing my research on you,
Right.
You're now 20, right?
Yeah, I turned
Bro.
20 in June.
You turned 20 in June and you
Yeah.
dropped like 3 or 4 massive hits
Yeah.
a few years ago when you were like, what, 16, 17?
17.
That's insane, bro.
I know. Very.
So, bro, coming from a Middle Eastern family, having those Lebanese roots and that upbringing, did you ever feel any sort of pushback from your family? You know how we are, man. Our families want us to be
Right.
successful, and
Right.
oftentimes we're attorneys, doctors, whatever.
Right.
So, tell me about your family, man. Did they encourage you?
So honestly, so I was born and raised in Canada, Toronto, Scarborough specifically, and coming in with my family into Canada, you know, they worked very, very hard. And the one thing that I could for sure say that I got from them is just that resilience and that hard work ethic. They were not super fond of the idea of becoming an artist. And I don't think I really had aspirations of becoming an artist until I got older, until I was like in grade 12 and stuff started to work on like social media. They were never against it, but they were always the type of people to be like, yo, we need to do school first priority. So school is the biggest priority to them because there's no like, what if? It's like you put as much as you're going to get. So with that being said,
You're a good student.
yeah, pretty much. I was a good student, did all my classes, attended, was late to a couple of them. I was not best friends with like the gym classes, the business classes, and you know, those little extracurricular courses. You know, I showed up, but you know, I was always kind of on and off with them. But my parents honestly just super hard workers and just wanted the best for their kids' future. And I think when it comes down to it, you know, school is a guarantee. So of course there's definitely going to be that worry of like, oh, you want to do music?
Yeah,
You
man.
know?
I mean, they're concerned for you. You know, they're our parents.
Right.
But did that ever stop? Did they ever push back? Because you were doing music at such a young age, right? Like, how old were you when you started doing music?
When I started creating music, I was 15. And when I started singing, I was like 6. So
Wow.
I was singing from a very, very, very young age. And until I was doing production first at like 14 and then 15. And then I think around closer to 16 is when I started actually laying down some vocals and, you know, started getting into actually becoming the artist. But I think it took me so long because I was just so shy and like insecure. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Well, I'm curious. You said you started singing at age 6. What was your first intro into singing? Because that's bold, man, to sing at 6.
Yeah, honestly, I think my first intro would just be like, I was a big fan of like, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, Justin Bieber, Usher, like all these people. And I think the biggest thing was my dad would always play like Michael Jackson in the house
Mm-hmm.
all the time, or he would play like some Arabic artists in the house, and just hearing it, and sometimes he'd play the Michael Jackson performances, and I'd be watching it, and I'd be like just so astonished by like how one guy can like make such an impact on so many people, like
Insane.
literally to a point where people are fainting, dude.
We're still talking about him to this day.
No, yeah, and it's been so long since he's passed away, and I think that was the first introduction to like wanting to become an artist. But like I said, I never really had an aspiration for it. I was just more so like, I want to do this. I want to perform my songs. Like, I want to sing.
Mhm.
But I never really said, oh, I want to be an artist in the industry and get signed. And like, it was
Mhm.
never like that. It was more so like, I want to have at least a group of people that can listen to my music and like feel what I have to say.
Yeah.
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 So that was the main focus.
It was an artistic outlet for you.
Right.
But
right.
you didn't ever see it. You did your priority wasn't to make it a career.
Yeah, it wasn't
the
a
beginning.
business to me. No, it was more like just creative, solely creative, expressing
Yeah.
vulnerability, just finding an outlet to get all my emotions out in one place and share it with the world in a way where I'm not like shying away from it.
Yeah, totally,
You
bro.
know?
Did your dad, you mentioned your dad was playing music for you a lot at a young age. Did your dad, or was there anybody in your family who had background in music?
Yeah, so like my uncles, my dad, like they all sing like Arabic music.
Oh,
So
dope.
my dad used to go and like perform in front of Middle Eastern like cuisines and stuff and people. So he was always a performer, and back home he was always performing as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, my uncles too sung a little bit, but I mostly just seen my dad. But I know my uncles sing,
That's awesome, bro.
but I've only seen my dad on stage. Like,
Oh, your dad performs
yeah,
on
like my
stage?
dad performs on stage. I think a couple hundred people, you know, maybe close to 1,000 people one time.
Where?
Man, there were some in Toronto, some spots in Toronto, some spots in Montreal, back home in Lebanon, just like certain weddings and all that stuff. So I was
Mhm.
too young to honestly remember, but
Mhm.
a lot of stuff like that.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man. Your background's Lebanese. You have Middle Eastern, heritage.
Mhm.
I'm curious, did you ever get a chance to explore your Lebanese roots by visiting Lebanon or leaving, Canada or?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, a lot of my younger years, like 10, 12, I think 13 as well, but for a long time it's been just such a hard like relationship just because, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world.
Yeah, I know.
So, but when I get the chance to, I definitely try to, for sure. I mean, I definitely miss my family
Yeah.
all the time.
Who's out there?
My uncles, some of my cousins, my aunts, grandmother, vast majority, but a lot of them are also in Toronto.
They are.
So I got a lot of them to Toronto.
You did?
So yeah.
Your parents, were they first generation, or were they born there and moved here?
They were born there and moved to
Got it.
Toronto.
So you're first generation.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
So you're really shaped by Canada. Toronto is
I'll
like,
be real. I'm super shaped by Toronto, Canada. My whole life was just over there, to be honest with you.
yeah,
So yeah, man, that's really
that's what's up, bro.
That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. I'm stoked to hear that, and it's amazing to see this wave of Canadian artists just going crazy. I mean, over the past 2 decades, bro,
Right.
Toronto music has
It's
been
evolved.
completely evolved.
Super.
Toronto, I was actually having this conversation with one of my previous guests, and he was mentioning how Toronto music wasn't even in the category. It wasn't even like a conversation, right?
Right.
It was always like LA,
Right.
New York, like East Coast, West Coast.
Right.
But now you have Toronto,
Right.
East, West, little North,
Super.
and it's a sound that we've never heard before. It's a style that's so fresh, and I mean, relative to like the creation of music, right?
For sure.
And in today's day and age, I feel like what you're doing for Toronto is special, and it's
Thank you, man.
awesome to see, man, at such a young age.
I try, man. I try. I only realized what I started doing for the city of Toronto is just more so after, where it's like the response back I got from the records doing what they did, and like just the people and the fans and them coming up to me in person. It's just, I didn't realize how much of an impact I had until the impact was shown and made. Like, I
Okay.
shut down like the Eden Center.
That's insane, bro. That's
pretty fucked
insane
up.
for you, especially. It's,
Yeah.
again, at this age, it's insane to even have that kind of
Yeah.
audience, to have
Right.
those people coming out for you. But
Right.
before we get into that, I want to know, right? So I'm trying to put together a timeline of your career and everything that you've kind of built up until now, right? You started really getting into singing at 6. You know, you grew up around different kinds of music. There's Michael Jackson, Prince, the Arabic music, etc. Fast forward, you start to learn production a little bit. You start to get into singing. Fast forward, now we're entering like the social media world and everything, right? And you're now, what, 16, 17, getting on TikTok, right? So what I want to know is, with regards to your TikTok channel and, you know, social media, you started booming during the golden era of TikTok, right? The golden era of TikTok was 2020, 2021. A lot of people posted stuff and it would just go crazy, right? And you were one of the first artists to really pop off on TikTok during that time. So what I'm curious for you is, what was your formula? Did you have a game plan going into it?
Going into it, I had zero knowledge of like posts to blow up or anything. But what I did have is, because I used to do social media, I had a TikTok account before that with 10,000 followers just for random stuff.
Not RealestK?
Yeah, just comedic reasons. Like, I was making videos for fun.
Like skits and stuff?
Yeah, so like I had like, you know, a couple videos, and I don't know if anybody would remember, maybe hardcore fans would remember, but like I had, you know, Ronnie Israel was the username.
Ronnie Israel?
Yeah.
I'm looking this up. Is it still active?
It's not active. I mean, sure, it's
damn.
not active, but I used to go by that username just on my Instagram and my TikTok, and then I was making different type of videos, like anything that trended, I was hopping on the trend and kind of putting my own spin to it. Like if there was a famous show blowing up, like I would be one of those guys to like post about that show and it
Yeah.
would blow up, and I was getting millions of views. So I was curating over 3 million views a week on just videos, even if it was like 5-10 videos. And then I thought to myself, well, I have a talent. And the only thing that I didn't like about that account was, it's like I had a talent that I knew I had, and a lot of people around me knew I had. But I was blowing up off these videos, and it was cool to see, but the feeling wasn't there. So like anytime a video would blow up, usually people are like, holy crap, like you're blowing up. But there was no sentiment. Like it would blow up and I don't feel any connection towards these viewers, this viewership. And honestly, it's hard to believe, to think that a 16-year-old would be thinking about that. But
Yeah.
like, I genuinely was like, yo, like, what's the point if I'm just doing random videos and blowing up? Like, I'm not getting paid for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? How is this gonna make a career out of this? Like, I always knew I was good in school, but I was looking for something at this point to do for fun, obviously, because it was Corona time and everything was locked up and stuff, and we couldn't leave.
Yeah,
our houses.
COVID, man.
But I needed something to fill my need for purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and I just didn't see that going anywhere with that account. So I deleted that account,
Mm-hmm.
completely deleted it.
Okay.
I made a new account, and at this point, RealestK wasn't a thing. How that actually got brought up, and I need to explain the story so you
Please.
understand.
Please.
I was with my two buddies from high school at that point. Shout out Glenn and Noah. I definitely
Shout out to them.
we don't speak as much anymore, but they know, like, when I see them, it's all respect, and I love them like brothers. But we were in my sunroom, and we were basically, a sunroom is like just like a little chill zone in the sun where the sun hits the room and it's like hot as fuck. So we're just chilling there, and I'm telling them, yo, I'm looking for a name for my artist name, and I want to incorporate like my name somehow, like, you know, Ronnie and the word real, like realism, realist, like I want to incorporate it. I told them I had the first half, and they're like, oh, okay, what is it? I said realist, and I had it as IST, and I wrote it down too. They're looking at it, they're like, it's not, I don't know, like maybe not that spelling. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I searched it up. I'm like, okay, what can I do? EST popped up. I'm like, okay, realist.
Realist, yep.
Realist. I'm like, okay, the realist. And I'm like, no, that doesn't sound Realist, I'm thinking about it. And my buddy Glenn it goes silent. He's like, Realest K. And then I look at him and I'm like, and Noah looks at him and I look at Noah and I'm like, that's not too bad, you know? And then I started thinking, I'm like, okay. And the Grammy goes to Realest K. Oh, and performing his hit single, Realest K. So I was like vision boarding in my mind. I'm like, let's see if this name has a ring to it. And it did. But the one thing about it that I was like, I think people might confuse me in Toronto at least. You know, they have a lot of rappers have names, like certain names and rings to it. And it sounded like a rapper name. It didn't sound like an R&B singer name. So I was like, okay. But I thought that was cool. I'm like, I'm just going to try it.
It's dope. It's awesome.
I put my name on TikTok as, you know, surprisingly enough, you'd think that nobody would fucking have these names. And then you're sitting there and it's like, yeah, this username's used already. And
yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Always.
So
every username, bro.
I'm like, bro, Realest K. Like, who? I thought I'm like we just thought of the craziest thing. So.
Was it a dead account? I feel like those accounts.
It was a dead account.
Always.
For sure.
Always.
Sure. So I put I am Realest K.
Yeah.
And that was the start of that account. 0 followers. Nothing.
Bro, explain Realest. What's the K from and Realest? Like, what's the meaning behind them?
So, Realest is something just that I abide by as a person. You know, like honest to a fault. Always
being genuine,
down to earth. Never ever have to sit there and question what I want to say to somebody. It's just straight, no filter. Say it how it is, even if the truth hurts. So I always lived by that, and I just think lying doesn't get you anywhere, and that's something that my parents really taught me. Growing up, that was like a main story they always taught me.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Lies will always catch up to you. So that came from that, and the K is like the initial of my last name, Cordab. So yeah, man,
it's really dope, bro.
So yeah, I know it's crazy. I would have never made that connection if it wasn't for him. So shout out Glenn, bro. I mean,
shout out to Glenn, man. That's awesome, bro.
He's somewhere watching this. He's like, yes. He's like, I knew it.
Shout out to Glenn, man, and the other homie.
Yeah, Noah,
Glenn and Noah. Shout out to you guys, man. This is dope to hear. So you had a TikTok account that had 10,000 followers. You abandoned that TikTok account.
Just completely left it.
Started fresh with the Realest K account.
Yeah.
And what was your strategy? I mean, again, maybe you didn't have a strategy, but how did you build up that Realest K account? What was the first content you were posting?
So this is fucking crazy. This is going to blow your mind. Okay. First thing I'm going to say, on the other account, I looked at it and I looked at my first couple of posts and I was like, oh shit, like the first 5 posts, the 5th one went viral. And I tested this with a lot of other accounts before doing it. Like I made other anonymous accounts for whatever reason and would just test. So at this point on in 2021, I don't know if it works anymore, but in 2021, there was this thing in the algorithm where your first 4 posts are almost like test runs and they'll push it out for you. And if it's great content, one of them might go even before the 5th post. And if it does, it's good. It's great. That means you're doing really good. But 9 times out of 10, you'll be at like the thousands in views. So you'll get thousands of views like guaranteed off your first couple of views.
If it's good.
If it's good. If it's completely horrible, you might not get anything. But I mean, good at that point was honestly average because it was still a new platform.
Yeah.
So like the things we see now that don't blow up might blow up at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very heavy. So I took that and kind of incorporated it into the new account. And the craziest thing, and I want to say this because I don't know if anybody noticed, my first ever TikTok video was me singing Talking to the Moon by Bruno Mars. My first hit on TikTok, if you notice, wait for me, the sample
I was
Talking to the Moon.
Got it.
It's insane, and that wasn't planned. Like, I've had some people, like I'm talking about the 2 percentile, have hit me and be like, yo, did you notice this? And I found out from them, and I was like, no, this was not planned at all. Like, so going back to what I was saying is like, I did stuff like, my first video was that, so that was like a cover, and it did a cool 10 to 12,000. Maybe it's at more now because I blew up.
That was video number 1.
It was video number 1. I know. I remembered it did like 10 to 12,000.
Okay.
Now it's probably at more. So take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was 10,000. Then my next video was a cover, and probably at like 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Third video cover, 4,000. Fourth video, 10,000. And then the fifth video was Do Not Disturb by Drake.
Mm-hmm.
It was Snow Allegra's part, her sample. It was a silence keeps clouding me.
Amazing.
That one.
Yeah.
So I sang that overnight, 2 million views.
No. Was it Snow's part you sang?
It was Snow's part. It was 13 seconds, and I did it on purpose. Notice that the when the start of a video, when it ends, really matters at this point, because now you have long form content that goes viral on TikTok. But before it wasn't like that.
What's
there was not
considered
even that minute. Like there was no on TikTok. If you go on TikTok right now, they give you 60 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute. Before it was just 15 seconds.
Got it.
At this time, there was no long content.
Wait, that was the max you could post?
That
back?
was the max you could post, 15 seconds at that time. So it was kind of like Vine. If you remember
Yeah.
Vine, it was like 6 seconds straight.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do nothing more, nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I have 15 seconds to do cover songs, but I got to keep them engaged.
Yeah.
So I thought that part in Do Not Disturb, first of all, I love that song, right? Shout out Drake. I love that song. But something about Snow Allegra and samples, especially when she's using samples, her and my voice, I felt like complimented, because I really sing in a high range. Like a lot of people sometimes, if they close their eyes and they hear me sing, they're like, is that a girl singing? So like I was like, okay, like let me do this because I think it would complement my voice a lot.
I see.
And it blew up. And what I noticed about it is it didn't just blow up in numbers, it blew up in creates. So people started using that sound to make videos of their own. So my voice, where it was just a cappella, so you'll see somebody maybe make like, 5 reasons to wake up every morning, and they'll make a video and it'll be the silence keeps cloud. So it was under their video.
Got it.
So they kept making videos, and it had 2,000 creates. So 2,000
Nuts,
people made
bro.
videos under that sound.
Nuts.
That's what I looked at. I didn't look at the views. I didn't look at the comments, because views and comments, they come and go. But the creates, the domino effect is very important.
Duetting, right? Is that what it is? Or that's part of it?
No, that's part of it. But
they could use your sound, you're
saying. So they can use my sound.
Got it.
So because it was an original sound, and I didn't go and search up Drake Do Not Disturb and put the video under that, it was something fresh and new. So people were using it with the intention of using it in their own videos, like as a background or soundtrack.
Got it.
So when I looked at that number, I told myself, this is interesting. So when I started making covers, I started making it with the intention of having people use the sound, because the more people use the sound,
genius,
the more the people were going to engage with it, regardless. Even if it had 20,000 views, if it had 20 videos, and then overnight it's going 10 videos, let's say 10 videos every day for a week.
Wow.
You got 100 videos, and you got more views. People go back to it to find the original.
Yeah, everybody wants to know who's what. Yeah,
right. So that's what I was doing. And I guess during that time, after that video, is where I discovered the formula. It was just consistent, and just, I guess, looking at how people are engaging with not the numbers or the video. It was more so the creates. How many people use the sound was very important. Mm-hmm. I did that, the same formula with covers. So I was singing Shallow Dynasty. I was singing all types, like XXXTentacion. Like that was one of my favorite artists of all, like of all time. Rest in peace, man. We'll get into that more, but I mean, he was somebody that used Shallow Dynasty as samples as well. So I used, those cover songs you saw on Vine of Shiloh, like I recreated them, and they blew up like 4 million views, 5 million views.
Wow.
I kept doing what worked.
And you did what you liked, kind of, right?
Right.
You were kind of like tapped. You were interested in an artist that a lot of other people were interested in, and those covers you did were probably so unique that it like.
Right. So it's crazy, because I feel like I was the blueprint to a lot of what we see right now, because back then there was not many people doing Shallow Dynasty covers and at least blowing up like that. And what I noticed about it is everyone kept saying how my voice was super unique. So I kept that in mind during this whole process. I did that for a good 3 to 4 months. By the 4th month, I had from maybe 100 followers from my first video to 90,000 followers.
In 4 months.
4 months.
Amazing, bro.
And I'm not going to lie, if I'm going to be honest here, I didn't like making those videos only because I felt like I wanted to be an artist so bad. But I couldn't be desperate and greedy, because what comes with artistry is steps, is introduction, is letting people understand that you have a voice. That's why a lot of people during that time, they blew up off a song and they fell completely off, because that's what they started with. You understand? So like, nobody got to really develop and recognize that person's voice. It was just a song they heard and they just forgot about it. At that time, what I didn't realize at that time that I realize now is that I was developing a group of fans and supporters that identify my voice through these covers. So when I would make a song, they'd identify my voice much faster, no matter what it was. So the first 4 or 5 months were just straight that. And I built it to 90,000 followers.
So dope, bro.
And then I was kind of not falling off on it. It was just like views started to trickle down, algorithm started to change. So I was trying to find a way out of that, but still do it, but find a way in to showing my own music. Because during that time, I was making my own music. So the 4 months of when things were blowing up, I was in my basement just like finding my sound, trying to figure out, okay, which one is good to promote in these next 4 months. I had a game plan at that point. I was dedicated, like, okay, 90,000 followers in 4 months. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure for you at 17, you're geeking out, bro.
I was geeking out. What? And then my Instagram too, it was like, I went from like 1,000 followers. Like in school, 1,000 followers was a lot. But then when I had like 6,000 followers, everyone was like,
you're the shit.
They're like, what the fuck? How'd you get that? You know? Yeah. But yeah, that was the first 4 months on TikTok, was just that.
I applaud you for recognizing, even at this age, recognizing that it was so important to build a core audience.
Right.
You know, and again, like you said, a lot of people came. I can name 5 artists and songs. I'm not going to do it, but I could name at least 5 artists and songs that had huge hits, huge hits in 2020 and 2021, who are completely they just fell off.
Right.
It was a thing.
Right.
It was almost dangerous because, like you said, they got a massive hit.
Right.
But they weren't recognizable.
Right.
You're like, oh yeah, I heard that song. Right. I don't really know who that is. Right. I don't really know anything else about them. Right. But with you almost reverse engineered it, where you brought in the fans, you brought in the audience. The voice was recognizable. People could then put 2 and 2 together, where they hear when it was time for your single to drop. They were like, oh, I've never heard this song, but I know who sang it. So they could connect the 2 together, which is super important.
Right.
And that takes us to the hit. Yeah. So I'm going to just tell you a story that's crazy. And we were talking about this earlier. When Sino was telling me about you, shout out to Sino.
Shout out Sino.
When he was telling me about you and how you guys started work together, I did my research and I was tripping out because I saw a video that I remember seeing in 2021, and it was for Wait For Me. And that video was you roaming on the streets. It was in Toronto, right? Just roaming around gas stations, streets, super moody. You couldn't really see your face, kind of. Yeah. And I was like, who is this dude? And how is this video blowing up so fast? Because the song was amazing. Yeah. But I didn't understand the lore. I didn't really understand at the time.
Right.
But I was like, this dude's so amazing.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, almost 40 million views on the video. The song charted on the Hot 100 on Billboard, right? That's for your first. Was that your first single?
It wasn't my first single out, but it was definitely, I think, the 4th single in.
The 4th single in. Okay, that's good to know. So leading up until that point, how did that even happen? How did that song happen? What's the origin of it? I would love to know the story about the inception of Wait For Me.
Okay, for sure. So after the 4-month period, I told you I was deciding to figure out if I should lean into music or not. So I did basically like testies. I had like maybe 5 songs, and I just started throwing them to see what would happen. I honestly had no plan, because covers, it was actually difficult because everyone was so used to me singing other people's songs.
Yeah.
That's all they liked from me. So I was scared almost to jump in. I was scared to be like, yeah, I want to promote my own music. Because what if they don't like it, though?
Scary.
It was a big one.
It's a risk.
It was all a mental thing, though, to be honest. It was all just me tripping out on if people would like. It's my vulnerability, right? I don't know if people are going to understand it or not.
Yeah.
And I threw out maybe 2 singles in the span of those 3 weeks. One was called Miss Me, one was called Confessions, and a really significant one was called like Stay With Me.
Yes.
So the first one I had promoted was Confessions. Made the video, shot the video. By the way, I shot all those videos like with my dad, like on my camera, on my Canon T6.
Your dad filmed those videos?
So yeah, I directed it. Like I told him where to go. So me and my dad, and this is kind of like how we kind of bonded on stuff at that time, because high school just started, and like the kids want to be kids and want to go to parties and do all these. But this is like my moment with my dad. We would just go out in our areas, in our plazas, to shoot these music videos of these songs, because he really liked the songs and he thought I should shoot videos for him. This Canon T6 photo camera I turned it into a video camera by fucking with the settings. Like I fucked with the settings so much. Till this day, if that camera resets, I will not know how to fix it. It was just me fucking with it for hours to try to get it to look a certain way. And the aesthetic you see in Wait For Me is the camera settings.
That's insane, bro.
So that's what I guess started the lure of like the dark aesthetic. So I was like, okay, I put out this Confessions video. I was doing maybe 3 posts every week. And sometimes I would do the lyrics. Sometimes I would do like a POV, kind of like POV, oh, she left you for another person and this is what you said after. Like I was just doing different stuff, trying to see what would work. Nothing worked for that song. Damn. I think the biggest video I got on that was like 20,000 views, which was good, but
for new
at
artists.
that time though, it was all from the 90,000 people I had. So it was 20,000 views, but it was like 500 likes, and I was like, damn, and I was getting like demotivated. But I was like, it's okay, whatever, this is expected. Then I had Stay With Me.
Yep.
Stay With Me after Confessions. And it's weird with that one, it took a while to blow up. Like I put those videos up with the same aesthetic, with the lyrics. Sometimes I put captions or like relatable stuff in the video, like play the song when you feel heartbroken, like there you go, right? Sometimes I'd make motivational videos. I'd put motivational text so people would relate to it. The highest video I got in there was 500K views, which was really good.
Was that for Stay With Me?
That was for Stay With Me. But that happened during the process of when I was posting for the song Miss Me. So when I started posting these videos, I started just throwing them out. So I was throwing out different songs left and right and just seeing what would happen. And some of them would sit with 1,000 views, some of them 10,000, some of them 20K, but I was letting them sit. When I started promoting Miss Me, Stay With Me started going crazy.
Got it.
Which was so like weird because I didn't know how to navigate that.
The cross promoting.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I'm uploading this song in like 3 days, and then this song is already uploaded and it's going crazy. On Spotify, it had 200,000 streams. On YouTube, it had 100,000 views. I cried. That was like the first like moment I had, and I think that's when people started to pay attention a little bit to my music. Because when you get at that time 200,000 streams as a new artist,
that's amazing, bro.
That's pretty good.
That's
like,
amazing.
You just do songs out of women, like people are recognizing it.
Heck yeah, bro. So
during that period of when I dropped Miss Me and the Stay With Me was going crazy, I sat for 3-4 weeks blank. Didn't know what to upload. Didn't know what song to come next.
Was that song number 3? Stay with Me?
Stay With Me was song number 2. Miss Me was song number 3.
Got it. Okay.
But it looks like Stay With Me was song number 3.
Got it.
It looks like it was Stay With Me, Then Wait For Me. It wasn't like that.
Do you know that kid who's like blown up right now? He does the Let It Slip Away. Yeah. You know that song? And he makes these videos where he'll just like turn and he'll stare at.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, I seen that.
And he'll like now is like that video is blowing up, but he took like he makes like hundreds of those videos.
Right. Yeah.
And then he'll like now put a new song, but he'll follow that same template.
Is that his song?
Yeah, that's his song.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it was a song that was out.
But when you said about cross promoting, it's interesting because he like dropped a new song, but he's using that template now from that thing that got him viral, and it's now promoting his other song.
Definitely super entertaining. I seen those and the actual people's real reactions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
When you said cross promoting, it just got me thinking of how artists keep doing that. And anyways, my bad. Continue. So song number 3.
So song number 3. So at this point now I have Confessions. So I have Confessions, Stay With Me, and Miss Me. But Stay With Me technically is the one that's going. So on my discography, it's the number 1 that's going.
Yep.
And all these other songs had like 5,000 streams, 6,000 streams. But it was good though. I was like still like happy. I was like, whatever. Amazing. It's as long as I had Stay With Me doing something. I went blank for a little bit on TikTok and on music, and to be honest, I got very sick for like 2 weeks where I had a eating disorder and that I really told nobody about. So I was losing a lot of weight and I was working, killing myself at work. So during this process, I'm in school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going from, so my schedule was literally 8 a.m., go to school, come back, eat at 3 p.m., sleep for an hour, go to work, finish work at 2 a.m., finish work at 2 a.m., close up, then do music from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., and then sleep for 4 hours, and then wake up every day.
Restaurant or what?
So it was Middle Eastern cuisine. I was doing hookahs.
Got it.
So I wasn't eating during that time. Like super just off adrenaline, running around, doing my work, my job, going to school, lack of sleep, sleep deprived.
Was the eating disorder from your looks, or was it just an eating disorder because of time? Or?
It was just because like it was a lot of things. It was how I looked on social media, what was being said to me in school, like just a bunch of stuff. I think a lot of it was a mix of emotions. And coming out of Corona, it was very detrimental because, you know, life wasn't the same. It didn't feel that same. Like, even though that period, it felt weird.
It felt weird.
Life really felt weird. Like, you went from seeing people in masks and then you thought seeing them without masks would be okay, but it just felt even weirder. Like it wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
The conditions, I feel like, of the environment that we were living in that time of the world, like, was super, super, super vital to me having that eating disorder. And just, I guess, being teased in school, you know, just I was always being teased for my looks, my haircut, the way I was dressed. Like, it's a bunch of stupid shit that these kids never realized that it was a big effect on me because I never showed them. And that was tough. My issue. Because I didn't know how to express. So that was, the music was always that. The music was your way to channel your insecurities, your emotions. Right. And going into that is where I went blank and didn't create. One day, I just was on my computer and I'm looking at the Stay With Me numbers. I'm like, fuck, now this video on YouTube has 200,000 views. A video I shot, and it's still going and people want more. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta give them something. So I was looking on YouTube again, and I come across this one producer named Double G. He's super, at that time, like 100 subscribers. This beat was almost like his hit. It was equivalent to his hit. I can feel it because I'm looking through all these beats, and I'm like, okay, they're decent. I found this one, and it was the Wave For Me beat, and it was a Talking to the Moon sample. And I love Bruno Mars. I was like, this is fucking fire. Shout out Bruno Mars. Shout out Bruno Mars. I love Bruno Mars. Very talented individual. So I was like, okay, I'm sick as fuck right now, but I want to try something. All I had, I kid you not, and the chorus was the... That's all I had. Literally all I had in the chorus. No lyrics, no nothing. Iconic, though. Left it. I left it. Named the project as Do Not Touch. Left my computer downstairs. Oh, the project name was called Do Not Touch? Do Not Touch. Because I thought it sucked. I'm like, I'm sick. I sound like Squidward right now. My nose is clogged. I'm sneezing in some takes. Like, it's fucked up, you know? I'm sick. So a week passes and, you know, I started to feel a little bit better. I was also sick, like just sickness too, like sinus and stuff. So that went away. And my older brother, who is at this time, I think 26.
Older brother, okay.
Yeah, he's 29 now. But
Okay.
at that time, it was probably like 26, right? He finds the project, snooping around.
What?
I don't know. He was just
How
snooping
do you
around.
find that?
He was snooping around because he also sings too.
Oh, okay.
So like he sings as well, and we would share the computer to do music.
Got it.
Right.
So he saw the projects lingering somewhere.
Yeah. So he was like, it was like, do not touch. And of course, he's like, I'm gonna listen to this, and he listened to it. He came upstairs and he was like, yo, drops the computer. He's like, finish it. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, bro, finish it. Like I like this. This sounds great. Finish it. And then I was like, you think so? Like, you think like I should? He's like, just finish it and see where it goes. I was like, all right.
Dog.
All right. I didn't finish it. What I ended up doing is I put words to the chorus, to the melody. And I think I got around to like, and now she's walking, and I don't understand, baby, why can't you? And it was just that. And then it was the no lyrics.
Yo, he is so hard.
So I was trying
like raw vocals.
So I was trying to figure it out, right?
God damn. He's so fucking good. I've been around a lot of singers. Bro, you are unreal.
Thank
just
you so
raw
much.
in this room.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, bro, this kid is something else. I'm telling you, bro.
Thank you so much, man.
Holy shit.
So I had
Holy fucking
what I
shit,
didn't
dude.
know.
Sorry. Continue, my bad.
So what I didn't know, and something that I do want my supporters to know, because I feel like they don't know this about me. I know nothing about music theory. Jack shit.
Really?
Don't know what notes I'm hitting. Don't know scaling. Don't know range. I don't know anything. I don't know keys on the, like nothing. I play like instruments by feeling.
That's
I
amazing.
sing by feeling.
Intuitive.
Yeah, so I didn't even know what a fucking chorus, a verse, I was just doing it. So, but at this point is where I was starting to learn structure, because what I noticed, and stay with me, was there was a structure there, a formula in that song that I wanted to follow. So that, and now she's walking, that part felt like a hook, like a post hook. So it felt like a pre. That's what led to the rest of it. So as I did that, I had that melody muffled, no lyrics. And then I was just thinking of things. Stay with me, wait for me. I stopped, I went, oh, wait. And I was like, wait for me. And then it became, wait for me, right? And at that point, when I sung it correctly and how you hear it in the song, I went, what the fuck? I closed my computer again, because I was like, I don't know. I just closed it, saved it to my phone, and I called my boy, and I was like, yo, I need you to drive me just like around the city. I want to find somewhere to shoot this content piece for my Instagram. And at this point, it's like fucking like 2 a.m. And my boy's like, oh, dude, bro, we got school tomorrow, bro. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, bro, please. I kid you not. We end up finding this like abandoned building. Okay? Nobody's in there. Nothing's in there. So me and him, we like just get in this building somehow. I don't know how. We don't break in. We just get in the building. Like we found a door was open. Like we just went in. It was the most craziest night of my life. Dope. I'm wearing all black and some sandals and some glasses, some H&M glasses, $12 glasses.
Nuts.
And I don't know what my infatuation was with glasses. I just think what it was I didn't like people to look me in my eyes because I was super insecure about how my eyes looked to them. So I just started wearing the glasses, and it became almost like a shell. Like, and it helped me kind of like just feel less antisocial and more comfortable.
Yeah.
So we went to this abandoned building, shot on my T6 camera, and I kind of just took the clips and I ended up editing them. That was the first Wait For Me post. On my Instagram, I posted it. And this was before Reels were a thing. Like this was just strictly go straight to your main page. I had 6,000 followers. A lot of them were from my school. That's why I did that. I wanted to test the waters. I wanted to see what people thought.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that were hating on my music before this, I saw them comment under it, putting like fire emojis and stuff. And I was like, that's very interesting. Because that means there's something about this one that they're liking. And I was like, okay, I got to try this on TikTok. I posted one video, same one, it failed. Posted another one, it failed. Posted it 3 times, it failed. This is in different days, brother.
Oh my God.
Failed. So Monday failed. Sunday failed. Tuesday failed.
Were they different snippets from the same video?
Different ideas, different videos. They just weren't working.
It wasn't from the abandoned stuff you did with your friend?
It was everything.
Got it.
That clip, different clip, wasn't working.
Really?
I got fed up. I got fucking fed up. Like, through my computer, through my phone. And I was like, bro, this is like dumb. Like, what the hell? How? What's going on? Am I doing something wrong? My brother sees my fit and is like, dude, try again. And I'm like, no, bro, this is dumb. It's not working. It's not going to work. He's like, try again. I said, oh, okay, I'll try it. Before I go to sleep, I'll post something, whatever. Before I go to sleep, I post a video under the chandelier. It's the infamous under the chandelier video. It's the infamous one.
I've seen that one.
It's the one that went crazy.
Yes.
The infamous one.
Yes.
I posted it. And I shut off my phone. Airplane mode, my phone, everything. From the minute I wake up to the minute I go to school, my phone's off completely. And I do that because lack of focus and attention in school, I know my phone's a big detriment. So I was like, I'm just going to keep it off. Kept it off. I go to school. People are asking me for pictures, which is like not new, but it was a lot more than usual. But this is when I knew. My friend Kurt goes like that, like pose. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're a superstar. And I'm like, what are you talking about? By the way, this is like one guy in high school that like is so the nonchalant, laid back, cool guy. Like doesn't say much to you. So when he says something to you, he means it.
Something's up.
So he said that. I'm like, yo, bro. I dab him up. I'm like, what's with this stuff? Like, what are you guys talking about? He's like, dude, your song? And I'm like, what? He's like, your song. What song? He's like, stay. I'm like, stay with me, whatever. He's like, no, the one you posted yesterday. I said, yeah. He's like, look at this. Turns his phone. It's a picture. The creates 10,000. I told him, you're fucking with me, bro. This is bullshit. Nah. He's like, turn on your phone. Where's your phone? You're telling me you're not getting any notifications?
Yeah, how are you not getting any?
I said, oh, fuck. My phone's on airplane mode. So I had it off the whole time, and then I turned it off.
Why'd you put it on airplane mode?
Because my lack of attention in school. So, like, when I'm on my phone going on the bus, I'll miss stops sometimes. Like, I was super on that social media shit. Like, I was stuck to my phone, even in class. So
you do that to not distract yourself?
So not distract myself, to get to class on time, to better my grades. At this time, it was grade 12. You understand, this grade 12 year is important because if I fail anything, I'm fucked. And I have no back burner. And social media is working, but I'm like, yo, yeah, I can't. That social media is not gonna help me from that ass whooping I'm gonna get at home if I don't get 90% in these classes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
good student, man.
Turned off my airplane mode. Fucking notifications just won't stop, and I'm there like,
was this on TikTok and Instagram,
bro? Even worse. Gmail, bro. Like, you're not understanding this. Like, I look at my fucking Gmail. Last night it was at like 100. I wake up, it's at 5,000. I'm like,
no fucking
I go on my TikTok and I'm like, yo, what is going on? And then I go on my business class. It's so ironic that I'm going into my business class and my business is working. I'm like looking there. I'm just on my phone stuck. And I'm like, everyone's talking, I'm like, yo, Ron. I'm like, shut up. I'm just like focusing. And I sit there and like my head's like this. And people in my class are just like, they're just looking at me, and I'm like, what? Like, your song. I'm like, yeah, I know, my song. What about it? Like, can we take a picture? I'm like, you guys know me. Like,
they said they want to take a picture.
I'm like, you know me. Like, I'm in this class every day.
Oh
like, don't
my
do no
God.
ew. I was like, nah, dude, get away.
You
Like,
want a picture?
that's weird because I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
All I knew
yeah.
in high school was being the kid in the back of the class,
Yeah.
hoodie up, glasses on, super out the way. It was to a point where my glasses were on to a point where my teachers allowed me to wear them.
Oh, they didn't?
Yeah, because like I super was like not communicative in class without them. Like it was fucked up. That year was very bad because I was going through eating disorder. I was going through mental health stuff. I was going through a lot, man. And I don't think I understood what it was because I was in a routine every day where every day felt like it's something I needed to do. And if I didn't do it, I honestly would get more in the dark, which is very, very bad. And I talked to nobody about it. But these songs, I talked to my songs about it.
Mm-hmm.
That shit happened. I leave this class. Like immediately after like an hour, I thugged it out, but the numbers just kept going up. I'm like, I gotta get out of school today. How am I gonna do this? I don't know. My mom's at work. My dad's at home. I like butter up my dad. I call the phone. I'm like, yo, Baba, just gotta, I gotta leave, man. He's like, what? What do you mean you gotta leave? What are you talking about? You sick? You okay? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay. So fucking stay in school. The fuck's wrong with you? I was like, no, just leave the key in the mailbox. I'm gonna go. He's like, what do you mean? I was gonna come pick you up. I said, just trust me. He said, what's going on? I'm like, my video, man. My video blew up. He's like, what does that mean? Like what? Like he knew a little bit about it.
Yeah.
He knew about like my TikTok having 90,000 followers. But, but he didn't think it was anything crazy because he's seen millions of views on my videos.
Yeah.
So to him, it was like, oh, it's just another video, whatever. I told him, no, you're not understanding. My song blew up. He's like, okay, what? Stay with me? We know it has 200,000 views. Great job. But like, why are you leaving school? I said, no, my song's blowing up in a different way. He's like, what do you mean different way? I'm like, let me just come home and explain it. We meet up at the house. Just mad as fuck. He's just like,
you just basically ditched school?
Yeah, I skipped school, right? And I like made my dad call the school, tell them that there's a family emergency, blah 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 blah. I go, but he was mad because he's like, yo, your mom's gonna kill me for letting you do this because I can't. It's grade 12. It's like you have to have attendance. It's super important.
Yeah.
And at that point, I had already missed a lot of classes.
Really?
So like 3 more times, I would have been like done for.
Like expelled?
Yeah,
Suspended?
like just done for. You know, I had a lot of lates, a lot of, you know, so it wasn't going to be good. I wasn't going to get to university if I missed attendance. That was the biggest thing. My dad's like, I'm trying to explain it to him. I'm like, yo, okay, you see this number? He's like, yeah. He's like, okay, what does it read? He's like, 10.10K? What is that? What does that mean? I said, he's like, 10 videos? That's nothing, man. I said, no. Okay, when you count, and you get, I explained to him money format, so he understood. I'm like, $100 bill, $200 bill. Okay, then you get to 1,000. He's like, okay, what's after $9,000? He goes, $10,000. I said, that's 10,000 people. He went, what? I said, that's 10,000 people. He's like, when did you post this video? I said, last night. I said, dog, it's been 8 hours. 10,000 people in 8 hours.
Have just remixed it, you're saying? Or have...
Dude just made videos to the song. And he's like, huh, okay, so go finish the song. What are you doing? Is it done? Did you have a video for it? I said, no, I have nothing for it. He's like, okay, you have work in 3 hours, you idiot. Go fucking do it. He's basically telling me, he's like, go do it.
Yeah.
I have 3 hours of crunch time. At this point, it's Wednesday. I know videos and music and songs would have to come out on Friday. I'm like, fuck. And DistroKid takes a day to process songs.
So you got to get done by Thursday.
So I have to get everything done by the next day.
Yeah.
And I have work. And I don't want to skip work because they're very strict. If I skip, I'm fired. So I'm like, I'm not trying to do that. So I'm like, okay. I finished the song somehow in like an hour and a half.
Up until this point, how many views did the video get?
Oh, at this point, when I finished the song, I had 20,000 creates and the views had like 500K.
Got it. Okay.
Which was on one video though.
Yeah.
So it was still going. So it was about to touch 1 million by the end of the night. Quick. And I was looking at who was using the sound. Bro, at this point, you had like James Charles and all these big names on TikTok. Like Little Huddy, like all these people. Bryce Hall. using at this time. You remember at this time they're big.
Yeah, huge on TikTok.
Fucking huge. I'm like, fuck, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, okay, nah, I gotta finish this. Finish the fucking song. Then I shoot some of the video with my dad after work. But then I'm like, there's a huge chunk of this video that I'm missing. Wake up in the morning. I didn't tell my dad this, and I don't think he knew. I skipped school this day too. And I got my buddy to skip with me because I needed somebody to film the video. So I told my buddy, I said, I'll give you $40 and I will do a week's worth of homework.
Damn.
If you just film these shots for me and skip school.
I love that.
He does it. His parents would always leave for work in the morning. So he had a free house, his apartment. I'm like, okay, great. We shot at his apartment complex. And that's where you see in the music video, there's a Perrier hoodie in the apartment complex. That was his apartment complex.
Okay.
The one with the trees, that was actually across from his apartment complex. It was like a woods thing. I was just like, that's fire. Let's go do it. We just shot random shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know where I was going with the video. It was honestly just like Stay With Me. I was running gun, piecing clips. I'm like, I'm going to do the same thing. At this point, it's Thursday. I already submitted the song. The song is already being processed. Now it's just the video. So I'm like, okay, I finished the song. The song's being processed. It'll be done by the end of the day. It'll be ready for release on Friday. Great. Finished the video the morning of Friday in school. I'm in my business class. And my business teacher, she goes, why are you not doing the homework? I said, I'm doing my homework. It's my work. I have to do it. She's like, oh, your music again? She's like, Ronnie, why don't you be more realistic? When?
No.
I'm like, I knew what was going on though.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you're about to see in the next 24 hours. I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, miss, I'll do my work. She walks away, continue doing my video. Finish the video. The song's out. I upload the video in school. That Wait For Me video for everyone that watched it. I was in school uploading that video. Like the commitment you have to have.
So committed, bro.
And you got to understand what the funniest part about this is that my computer died mid-upload.
No.
I had to go find a charger, found a charger, plugged my fucking computer in. There was the bell rung, so everyone was in the hallways. I couldn't do it in the hallways. I went to the bathroom in the fucking stall, finishing this video, uploaded it. It was out. I go home. I make a video to Wait For Me again on TikTok. Blows the fuck up again. People know the song is out. I give it 24 hours. I shut off all my devices.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at comments. I don't want to look at numbers. Nothing. Just shut off. I almost did the 72-hour rule, but I did 24-hour rule.
I didn't hear about the rules.
So the 72-hour rule is basically like when something's blowing up, you just kind of like let it marinate, let it sit there, let it blossom, and you don't look at anything. You don't pay attention to anything.
What is that, just bad juju or something?
It's just kind of like, it's one, it helps when you're not on the app, and two, it's a mental thing too. You don't want to get caught up in like, what people, like if people liked it or not. And that was my biggest insecurity. People were going to like it. It blew up, but what about the rest of the song?
Yeah.
What about the video? I didn't know if they were going to like it. I was like, whatever, I like it. Fuck it. Like, And then I woke up that day and my friend, that music video was number 4 in the world for music videos and it had 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you so much.
24 hours?
24 hours, 1 million views.
For
number 4 in the world for music videos.
Brother.
It was on every chart, on every radar, everywhere. And this was big because I only had 2,000 subscribers. So people listening to this might think, okay, 1 million views. Like, what? How many? That's probably nothing. No. It was a lot because I had 2,000 subscribers.
Bro, unreal.
It was insane. And this was no Google ads. This was no marketing. This was all
organic
money spent. What people don't understand is that was rare. Like, if your video did that much, rare. Especially, and that was very new to labels, and everybody was trying to understand what had happened. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I still didn't know till this day why it was that song, why it was that video, I'm grateful for it, but I still don't understand why. But what I think
it's an amazing song, bro.
Thank you so much. What I think it was God seeing me suffer every day. It was him seeing me suffer at work. It was seeing my endless, care for my parents, trying to help them. Even when paychecks would come in from work, I'd give them to help them. I would make no money, basically. I'd just be working for my parents, too. And one time my dad was like, yo, the car needs this repair. It's like $1,000. I gave him $1,000. So just have it. It's okay. It was my 42 hours, working every week. It's okay. Have it. Stuff like that. Getting picked on in school. Being tired. Crying at night some days because of just the teasing and wanting something to work out for me. Because I was always that kid growing up where everyone counted me out. Everywhere. From middle school till high school. Even now sometimes. I was always the underdog. Nobody believed in it. I had to always show up. And some people might think, yeah, that's life. No. There was people that I've seen get endless amount of love and support. And they didn't need to prove it. It could be something as simple as they look good. Or they have a better sense of maybe music, like rap. Like they did rap songs. Like it was so... Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just so almost paid to win. Like,
yeah.
It's like they didn't do anything for it. I didn't never seen these people go around and shoot a video like me or like go and stay in class and disobey the teacher to do what I need to do and go in the bathroom and finish this video. Like, people might think that's weird, but that was real shit. Like, that was real commitment. Like, getting a Canon T6 photo camera because I couldn't afford an actual video camera. I had to make that work, not knowing if it was going to work or not, but I did what I had to do. I made that song off a snowball microphone with a sock over it and a USB plug mic. And for everybody, from engineers to producers, when they asked me what plugins I use, you know what I told them? Default. Logic Pro default plugins.
No way.
The default plugins. That song was not.
How good your voice is, man.
Not mastered, no auto-tune, nothing, no pitch correction. There was nothing on that song but reverb and my voice. That's it.
Amazing, bro.
That was it.
What a story, man.
Yeah, man.
What a story.
That was it, bro. Now it was that song that did its number on people, and after that, it was just, Toxic and Love Me within those months of November and December. And it was weird. I had a really, really crazy run at that time because everything was just blowing up behind each other.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
It all started with your brother.
Yeah. Shout out my brother, man. I mean, I still thank him till this day because it's just without his word, without his belief, it probably would have never came out, honestly, because maybe it would have, but maybe the wrong time, and maybe it would have not done its thing. Because I feel like a lot of this is also timing. The timing was beautiful. You talk about October, people are inside.
Yeah.
It's
kind of cold.
Yeah, kind of cold in Toronto. Relationships are trickling in and out. People are breaking up, like a bunch of stuff. And that's what was going on with me too. So it's like, I guess was the voice of reason for everybody.
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways I'm getting from this. One, you timed it really well. Two, you pushed away any insecurity you had, and you said, I don't care what people think, I'm gonna just do it.
Right.
You were prepared. You saw an opportunity when that snippet blew up.
Right.
So you kind of created the formula yourself. Right. Yes, there's a higher being, a God.
Right.
God telling, maybe looking out for you, faith. But a lot of it's on you, faith. A lot of it's on you, and I think just some takeaways I'm getting from this. If I was an independent artist or an artist who wanted to have the same success as you, is to kind of follow that roadmap, right. And to really be resilient and just keep going and keep pushing and believe that it'll work. Especially if I know if it's dope.
Right.
Right. Never give up.
Never give up. And remember that nobody is going to believe in your work if you don't make them believe in your work. If you don't believe in your work, make them believe in your work, they're not going to believe in your work. And honestly, for the people out there that probably watch this and are saying, yo, he got it all figured out, I don't. Till now, I'm still trying to figure it out. Still.
You're young, bro.
Still. I just want people to know that, because I feel like I don't go by the social media. I'm very authentic in that sense, where I don't care to sit here and be like, yeah, no, I've done all this stuff and like I'm cool. Yeah, I got it all figured out. Yeah, no, bro. Like, shit got real after that.
It got
really
super real.
It got super real.
There's always a thing, even within filmmaking, with my career and all the projects I've done, no matter who I've worked with, how big the project's been, every time I go approach a project, I have to prove myself. I have to prove myself to the client that I'm worthy enough to direct it. I have to prove myself to the world that it's going to be a dope piece. And you have to keep doing that for me, every project I approach it with that mindset. For you, similar, right? You had a hit song, then you have to follow up with it. And actually this leads me to my next question, which is when you catch a stride in artistry, you want to kind of follow up with it, right? Especially with momentum. This is a momentum-based industry. So when you start getting buzz, right? For you, your cover songs got you from 100 to 90,000 followers. You started getting buzz. You tried to catch a stride, attempted a couple songs, didn't really hit how you wanted them to, but a couple of them bubbled up, right? But then with this song, you caught a massive stride, right? So where do you go from there? You catch a stride. You're on a treadmill, level 20, max speed. Where are you going from there? How do you decide what to follow up with and the next step and taking the next step in your career?
So this is where it becomes business oriented. And I'm going to be super transparent when it comes to this topic. I was 17. I had every label in the fucking world wanting to see me. That right there is chills down my spine when I say that.
Insane. Your emails were flooded, huh?
Because you're talking about Sony, Republic, everybody wanted to know who the fuck I was. Because all they knew was long hair, glasses.
And great voice.
Great voice. Yeah. But that's what they saw, though. They just saw this kid from Toronto with a fucking hit song. He came out the fucking doors just swinging. And it didn't seem like it was so seamless. You look at the video, it was like people were confused. They were like, this is it? Like, a lot of people said this is the video. Like, a lot of people were like, this is what's going. They were confused because it was so simple. Very simple. What I do want to say, after this period, there was a lot of back and forths, calls, trying to reply to emails, getting family lawyers involved, like just looking at everything from a business standpoint, because now it got real. Now there's like millions of dollars trying to be put up for my next project.
Before we get to the $1 million, actually, what did you see financial success from this song?
Like, did I see it as in like, yeah, I saw a lot of financial success, but a lot of the start though wasn't from my distribution service DistroKid when I put up the song. Like, no.
It wasn't from streaming, you're saying?
No, like I didn't see anything until I really got with the company I was with. Is like, so they can show me the statistics and show me. Look, I didn't know how to even retrieve that money. I knew nothing about the business side of music. Nothing at all. Like, clueless. And I knew nothing about business. And the one thing I do want to say before I get into this is that make sure when a song blows up or anything goes good for you in any industry, any entertainment industry that's going to make you a lot of money, make sure you take your time. Make sure you know what people's intentions are. Super key. People will sell you a dream. People will tell you a lot of things. People will do anything when it comes to the extent of money and success and credibility and their reputation. I had a major label that I ended up landing on. The A&R flew out to see me, and very great person. I just want to say, amazing person. Like, really great, humble attitude. Like, wanted the best for me. I say that with all the good graces, but one thing that it didn't help is that I didn't understand what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I went from a kid in high school
Mm-hmm.
making $100 every 2 weeks to now being thrown a 6-figure deal
Mm-hmm.
in my face, promising me the world.
Yeah.
And that was very hard because my family needed that money.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't care. I'll be real. It was nice to have it, but I didn't care. I really just cared about the song living on, me to have an impact on people. I didn't care what number the song, let me put it in perspective. When I got my first check, when I signed the deal, I got like $1.5 million. And I know they train you not to talk about numbers, but I'm going to say so you guys understand it. $1.5 million was given up front to me when I signed. Then another $1.5 million was put up for the album. But at the time, I didn't know that money that was put up for the album, I would have to pay it later on.
Yep.
It's a loan. You have to. That's why I didn't understand. And something really careful is that if your album doesn't make that much money, you don't get that much money.
You never see it.
So when I signed, I'm thinking I have $2.4 million
Yeah.
to play with. The first thing I did, I gave basically all of it to my parents. My signee money that they gave me.
The 1.5?
Yeah, I gave, it was like 1.2. In conversion, it was 1.5 Canadian.
Got it.
I told my mom to open an account and basically put the money all there. And I said, take what you need. She did her thing, paid off mortgage, did all that stuff. And I used that money only for at that time was, traveling when I needed to and clothes and obviously just, the typical stuff. Like, I'll be real, I splurged a little bit on clothing and fancy restaurants and LA stuff. I get to LA, I was like,
Did you move?
I wanted to live that life. I didn't move.
Yeah.
No, I was just visiting that time.
Yeah.
And from there, it was just, now I'm with a major label and I'm spending all this on this money.
That money is, so there's the advance money. This is important for people to know. There's advance money from a record label when you sign. Mm-hmm. So when you sign a big deal, you have your advance, then you have your amount that's going towards a project, right?
Right.
Those are two separate pots, right?
So yeah, so basically they gave me for signing, because remember, I don't know if this was a normal thing. I don't know much about the industry, but what I do know is that when I signed, the money they gave me per signing, they gave me 1.2.
Got it.
I'm pretty sure they made it that big because I was worth that much.
Yes.
So not a lot of people would have that. Like, I'm pretty sure a regular artist they would sign wouldn't get that. Probably wouldn't even get like a signing upfront money
they don't.
like that. They don't probably get that, but it's because they knew they were running out of time. So they gave me that per signing, and then the advance was on the music. But I didn't know that I'd have to owe it back or I'd have to make that much. Like, I didn't know any of that. I was just like, okay, fuck it, great. I got money and I get to make music.
You're almost like living off the advance at that point.
Yeah,
right?
at that point, basically, because the signee money, and at that time, remember, we didn't know anything about investing money and all this stuff, especially me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 17. Remember, it had to go to my parents because I'm not old enough.
Yeah.
It took a while to even receive that money, to see that money, until I turned 18 is where I really saw it, and the court passed for it. My parents were dealing with court and having to make sure that I was okay with, getting this money, and they were okay with it. It was a large amount of money. During that process, I was creating music. I made a single after Wait For Me called Patience. Mm-hmm. That one at that time, it was looked at from the label as a flop almost, but it wasn't because of me, and it wasn't because the song wasn't great, because Wait For Me was just fucking going crazy.
Huge.
So what they realized is they didn't need to drop a song and drop music. It was more so we need to capitalize off that moment still. So a lot of things were going on. It was, by the way, this was all fast paced. Like, I don't blame the label at all because they didn't honestly know what to do with me. Like, I was in Toronto, now I'm in LA, and like they're throwing me in sessions where I know nothing about business. I know nothing about writers. I know nothing about producers at all. I don't know names of producers. I don't know names of writers. I was a boxing artist where I only worked from my basement and YouTube beats. So even there was times where even myself, like I'd be in sessions with producers and unknowingly would be like, yeah, I don't like these beats. I'm gonna pull up YouTube beats, and they would catch the disrespect, and I didn't know. Like, but I was just trying to make music.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I looked at it as. And during that time, we dropped Patience, a really amazing song that's now done a really number. It's the top 5 in my discography, 30 million streams now.
Huge.
But at the time, it was still like just crossed 1 million in like a month. Like, it wasn't super high.
It was good, but not the level you saw.
To me, it was great. I love them. Like 1 million streams in a month. That's fucking great. But to labels, you know, especially a label as big as them, that wasn't enough.
Who's the label that you signed to? Oh, you don't want to. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say it.
Sorry.
Yeah. By the way, great label, amazing label. No bad blood at all when I'm explaining this. I'm just explaining for the people that want to know the story. That's what it was. Is like come on, guys, they're a major label and they want major things to happen, you know. And
it's tough, man.
And it was tough, you know. And then the grace of God.
Yeah.
We made Toxic. And this is what people don't know. Everyone thinks Toxic is my biggest song right now. They think, yeah, that's the biggest song. That's his only hit. No. Toxic was made after Patience. Both songs were made at Westlake Studios in LA. And this particular session, I was sick as well.
Ugh.
I don't know what it was with me getting sick, making songs and hits when I was sick. But Toxic was one of them. YouTube beat as well. So imagine this. Patience was made with a producer.
Yeah.
And then the song that actually hits is a YouTube beat again.
How do you license the beat from the producer?
I licensed the beat, and at this time it was very easy for me to license the beat because I had such a major label backing me on it. So it was like an easy.
Did you buy it? Like, could other people use it?
No, we bought it.
Got
completely off of YouTube. Like, Even Wait For Me is off of YouTube.
There's some talented producers on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and this person, this beat was like 2 years old at this time. It was a Bryson Tiller type beat, and it was Toxic. And same thing. I did the hook. Didn't finish the verses. Put the snippet up. Blew the fuck up.
Nuts.
Blew the fuck up. And what did I say? It blew up really weird. Like, it blew up 1 month a certain way. Then 3 months later, it blew up again. Like, it's weird because last year it blew up crazy as well with the people making those videos and the turnaround. Like, it's crazy. And when I realized that I didn't realize before, the timeless records. And I think there's something about the music I was making or I make where it's not about when they're put out. It's not about how they're made. It's just about how I feel in those moments. And I think Toxic was done alone in a room, which is me and the engineer. Patience was done with like 6 people in the room, 7 people in the room. And it was a great song. I love Patience, but I understood why it didn't work. There was something unauthentic about it. Like, where it was, shout out to everybody that worked on that song, super amazing song, but in the moment and when we're talking about authenticity, what I was used to and what people were used to were basement sounding tracks with YouTube beats.
Got it.
So that week I was in LA with my older brother. He was with me and we had a blast, you know, like we went to like Drake's birthday. We did a bunch of stuff. It was a bunch of moving around, man. We were just doing great things. And I was slowly getting into that lifestyle, and this is where it progresses, right? I get sent back to Toronto. Then that month of December, I get sent back to Toronto because December there's nothing going on in music. I get sent back, and when Toxic is blowing up, that's when I went to Toronto. I made Love Me.
Yeah. Amazing, bro. Yeah. What a journey.
Yeah.
Hit after hit after hit.
At the same time.
Right? You're representing this new generation of Toronto artist. We kind of touched upon it a little bit earlier.
Right.
And you called yourself Toronto Secret for the
Yeah.
longest time.
Yeah.
Are you still Toronto Secret?
Yeah, 100%. And I say that and I hold that to the grave because that's what it started off as, and that's what I want to end off as, is Toronto Secret. And then I say that, and that means, what people don't understand what that means is, like, when I said Toronto Secret, if you look at the image, the dark, mystique, glasses on, my whole career is and still is based off of insecurity, vulnerability. It's two things. Why would I lie and never say I'm not Toronto Secret? I am a secret. Till now, I'm a secret, but I like it that way because the people who know get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
The people who don't know, when they find out, get to enjoy it.
They're in on the secret.
Yeah, and you know what? When I'm selling out arenas one day, crazy, where it's consistent, I'm like Taylor Swift level, and I'm doing everything, the Rogers Center and all these places, I'll still keep Toronto Secret up in my bio because something that just never goes away. It shapes you,
Yeah.
I feel like that was my motivation. Like, everyone had something. Drake had the CN Tower, Abel had the Eden Center singing in front of it. Like, everyone had something. And some people had their environments where they're from. Some people had the different hoods they're in, mine was being the secret of Toronto.
In the basement. With the snowball microphone.
Exactly. Just away from people.
Have you been able to connect with a lot of these legacy Toronto artists like Drake or Abel?
100%. Shout out all the Toronto artists that I've encountered. Shout out Drake, shout out Abel, shout out Nav, shout out Tori. We were texting, free Tori.
Wait, you're texting right now?
Me and Tori were texting before he got locked up. That's why I said free Tori.
Gotcha.
But yeah, all of them, Pressa, all of them, man.
Oh yeah.
All of them, man.
So you're tapped in, Toronto. You're the secret, but in the industry, you're not, like, they know you.
Yeah, I'm tapped in with everybody. I show love to everybody, and look, I just want to say that I am what you see. Like, I don't have any ill intent for anybody, no disrespect to anybody. I don't do the politicking. I'm super just, I just want to make music, bro. I'm a young kid that wants to make music. I don't want to bother anybody or get in anyone's way.
Yeah,
man.
Do you have a moment in your career that feels extremely surreal, right? Like, up until this moment?
Yes. Nav's tour. So first and foremost, shout out Nav. Shout out everyone at EXO. Nav brought me on a tour in around 2023. And the last show was Scotiabank Arena. This particular tour, I had bronchitis, and I told nobody about.
Sick.
I was performing, never missed a show, 24 shows.
Wow.
Every performance, I'd go to the hospital.
You go to the hospital after every show?
Yeah, nobody knew. Not my fans, not my team, nobody. It was
you
actually
just drove
bad.
Yourself to the ER or what?
Like, my team, well, there would only be, like, maybe my day-to-day at that time was, like, driving me, like, he knew what was going on, but I told him I don't want anybody from management, from label to know anything. Doctor was telling me not to perform.
Of course. It's bronchitis.
I still did. And the last show in LA before the Toronto show, because the Toronto was the last show, but the finale and, like, the tour was LA technically, because that was the last show in the States, and my rib ruptured. And I couldn't sing, I couldn't talk, nothing.
What happened? How did your rib get?
It just I don't know, it just ruptured apparently from performing too much, lack of sleep, performing even when doctors said don't. Like, I really needed to rest for those last 2 weeks before going back to Toronto. I go back to Toronto. I'm starting to feel a bit better. Still have a strain in my vocals, but it's good enough to perform. 10 hours before the show, my father had a heart attack. And it was very hard. And I think, I only mentioned this. Sorry, Pops, I had to mention it, but I only mentioned it because it was such a big moment. I was about to perform in front of 30,000 people in an arena, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. Huge. At that time, I was on the verge of turning 19, and that happened. And it was 10 hours before, and they were telling my dad and me that he couldn't show up to the performance.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom, through just stress and worry, fainted and was in the hospital as well that same night. So I was alone in the house, literally alone in Toronto. Nobody knew what was going on. Not with my ribs. Not with my family.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And the biggest thing that I was sad about was like, yo, I don't know if my parents are going to be able to watch this show, and I hope they're going to be okay, obviously. Like, I mean, they told me at this point they were going to be okay, but that they have to stay in the hospital for a little bit. But they said they would be fine. So I knew at this point, okay, they're breathing, they're alive, they're conscious, but they just have to stay back. They have to rest, right? So I go to the performance alone, right, with my team, whatever. Everyone's talking to me, excited. Are you excited? Da, da, da. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Only like my best friend, my two best friends, like knew what was going on, and they were trying to shut down everyone's answers, questions, and whatever. And got to the green room, and everyone's family's there. Like my engineer's family's there, like my day-to-day's family is there, my security's family is there. It's like everyone's there. And it's like everyone had their family, and I'm just like looking around, and I'm like, yeah, damn. Like now I have to. You see, literally Toronto secret. Like I'm a secret at that point. I feel so.
You're bottling up everything, bro.
Everything, man. And sometimes I'd go to the bathroom, I'd cry, I'd come out. Like it was very bad. I go on stage, and I mean, perform, go crazy, right? Do my thing. Last song was Wait For Me. Tell everyone to turn on their lights, because I couldn't see anybody. I only seen the front.
Yeah.
I realized we were at 90% full as an opener. Let me explain that to people. As an opener, people will always skip the opener because it's that boring part of the show where you don't know who the fuck it is.
Sometimes, yeah.
Everyone knew who the fuck it was. And I didn't know. I was going in there like, yo, it's about to be like 50%. And nothing wrong with that, but I'm like, it's not going to be what I think. When the lights went on, everybody was in the fucking arena. And I look around, and I'm seeing a lot of light, right? I look to my corner, it's my mom and dad. They were there. They saw the whole show.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And then I look at my dad. He's like crying tears, and my mom's crying tears. And like, I take off my glasses, and I'm like crying. I'm looking at them. And then I'm like, Toronto, sing this one if you know it. And then I sing the song, and everyone sings back.
Oh, dude.
And then I got off stage after that. Lots of love, by the way, like roaring. And got off stage and went to the green room. Broke down to the floor like Michael Jordan, like when he, like that picture of him in the like locker room. Literally. Parents are like hugging me on the floor and like lifting me up, crying my eyes out.
Dope.
And then I made a toast to the moment, and I told everyone. My A&R was there, everybody, and I told them like, yo, like my dad had a heart attack in the last 10 hours. Completely shocked that he's even here. I'm so glad he's here. Telling them I had bronchitis this whole tour. Like, and I'm fine, but like, I'm recovering from bronchitis. Every show my rib was hurting. It was burning. I couldn't sleep right. I barely slept. And I also apologized to the team that was rolling with me, because I was like, I know that I was very angry at times because I was going through pain and I wasn't sleeping, and there's so much to do. And as a really impatient, 18-year-old that's new to everything, like sometimes I had my moments, and but thank God the people that I was with was super super understanding of that. So that was the most surreal moment I've had in my whole career, only because of everything leading up to it and everything that transpired after it. Until this day, it's all a blur. I don't remember shit but that. I don't remember what song I performed, what they reacted to, where the green room was. It's almost like a dream. Dreams to reality. I never understood it.
Through the physical pain, the mental pain, all the adversity you faced, what kept you going?
Faith. Faith was a big one. I think biggest thing was my dad's in the hospital right now, dude. What would he say if I didn't do this? I died for nothing, God forbid, or I got sick for nothing. I was going through a lot. I was like, I didn't want to perform. But then my dad was the one telling me, you should perform. Don't worry. There'll be many more that I'll get to see you at. I was like, no, I can't. I don't feel like I'm confident enough. It's just what did I always tell you? Is just never give up. Go on stage, do your best, and don't think about the rest. So it was faith. It was a lot of faith.
How did touring with NAV shape your perspective on performing?
In an immense way. It was great, but it was also bad. And I'm going to say this why. I had a R&B tour opportunity and a rap tour opportunity. I love NAV. I took the rap tour opportunity only because me and him have had a song together and we're in the studio, and EXO's super nice to me, so I just had to do it. It's like brotherhood, whatever. I did it. What I mean by bad is nothing to do with how the tour was set up or the people. No, everyone was amazing. It was just, I'm an R&B singer going up against rap fans. And I'm talking about rap fans. They're here to see one person. That's fucking NAV. And if it's not NAV, it better be somebody. Soulfega was on that tour too. So
got it.
It has to be somebody of that caliber because they want to turn up, And I think the hardest thing during that tour was all I had felt before that was love. I felt the hate, but I never seen the hate in person. There was a lot of hate.
Did people boo you or something?
Chicago, people booed me off stage.
What?
Detroit, people booed me off stage. And I didn't go off stage, but they were throwing shit.
What?
Me. Yeah, man. All that. Boo me, tell me we want NAV, tell me you suck.
Are you serious?
The fuck up. Even
Really?
to a point where even the people that were working on my sound mix, whatever, not the people that they hired, the people from the actual venue, they were sabotaging it low key. They were not putting the light the right way, and my mic would be turned off sometimes. It was weird. It was a lot of stuff that wasn't in order, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't NAV's team or anything. They were super supportive, and they even gave me great times, so everyone would be watching my show. It was just the people, the fans.
Rap fans are horrible,
and
bro.
And I think even to a point it was so bad, NAV came out on stage and was like, yo, you guys better give it up for fucking RealestK right now, or I'm not performing. He said that in some shows.
It's a real one.
Yo, what the fuck's wrong with you guys? I bring this kid from my city to kind of give you guys a great show, and you guys do that? He was really mad. He was really upset, actually, at his fans for that, because that's not how his fans are supposed to be to him. They're supposed to be whoever I bring is you respect them. But there was some silver lining there where I was like, okay, this is good. This is where I learned. What can I do to make these fans fall in love with me somehow? One thing I realized, in the midst of all the guys that were hating, there's girls that loved it. How do I make the guys feel the same way that girls do with the feeling of the vulnerability? I gotta change my set. Changed it 4 times, tried 4 different sets. We finally landed on one. we had songs that were very like, we have a song with J.I. called Cross Me and Beam that's super like, went to New York, we played that shit, fucking everyone. I was the first I feel like I was the first R&B person to cause like mosh pits. I had 3 mosh pits, bro, and I'm singing.
So nuts,
right?
Yeah.
7,000 people
Iconic.
mosh pitting. And when we found out the formula of set and building up and suspense, it was kind of like, that's when I understood also my music needs a storyline. So everything started coming together to me in real time in this tour, from music needing a story to how stuff is going to sound on stage. I never thought about those things.
Yeah.
Like what is this going to sound on stage? How is the crowd going to react to this? What reaction do I want? I never thought of that.
It changes your perspective on how you create music.
Right.
Yeah.
So I realized in that moment, I never made music for performing. I made music for me. And that's, as selfish and great as that sounds, you also need to make sure your music is going to bang anywhere. Like,
it's important, yeah.
If you're going to Rolling Loud, you're not going to fucking play a song like Wait For Me and die out the crowd. You'll probably use Wait For Me in the middle of the set to calm down the crowd after getting them going batshit crazy. You see, so that's how you incorporate simple, subtle, chill songs in a different crowd space. You need to make sure they know, yeah, motherfucker, I could do that too. I can backflip on stage and then sing beautifully.
Yeah.
You're gonna like it. Why? Because I already did the first thing.
Yeah.
So now you gotta sit and do the second thing. But you can't do the thing that they're expecting rap and you sing. They're gonna be like, the fuck, get off stage. But when you do the song like Toxic and you open up with it and you go crazy and they're singing it back and you're jumping and you're mosh pitting and everything, then you do a song like Wait For Me. They're like, they appreciate it more. Like, oh, you gave me what I wanted. Now I'm gonna give you what you want. So that's what it was. And it's kind of like, almost like, you got to look at the supporters and the new fans as nothing's off the table. You almost got to like let them, like, you got to guide them. It's crowd control. You got to be able to know when they're liking shit and when they're not liking shit. There was times where I thought something would work. I'd switch up the song mid-set. I'd tell Saren, nah. Saren's my engineer. I'd be like, nah, cut it. Next one. When it felt like people were sleeping or like dying down, I was like, okay, next one. Y'all didn't like, I'll be like, yeah, y'all didn't like that one? All right, well, I got something better for y'all. You just gotta do that, man. You just gotta go with the flow. So thank you to NAV, thank you to XO for that tour opportunity, because it really did help me and shape my music in a way where now, currently, that's where I'm at. Making music, not just for myself, but for people to enjoy when I perform it. All because of that tour. And I probably, honestly, would have not learned that in an R&B tour, because an R&B tour, everyone loves you. It's easy.
Yeah.
I sing, people love it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I have a few more questions before we wrap it up. One of them being, what's the difference between Ronnie and RealestK?
Ronnie is a person who runs away, not confident, hides a lot, scared, lives in fear. RealestK is the confident, brave, fearless, not afraid of anything. Just fucking goes for it. It's almost like I've created a character on purpose to help me find the confidence within myself. But if I'm going to be honest here, it's both the same person. Something I'm learning now, it's both the same person. Ronnie has the same qualities as RealestK. It's just RealestK knows how to use them. And that's because the purpose is within music. It's in the stuff I do. And that's the difference, is that Ronnie is the person that cares too much about things. But when I'm RealestK on stage with my fans, I feel like this chi, like this aura. I can just do what I want, be what I want, be fucking ridiculous on stage, backflips, like do whatever I need to do. And everyone, I feel like, will just have to love me for it. It's because this is what I love to do. I feel like there's no wrong when I'm Realest K. When I'm Ronnie, you know, I overthink a lot.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, man.
You know, one thing that you mentioned was Realest K doesn't care. Realest K just kind of goes for it and is not always worried about judgment, right? From the start of your career, you know, you recorded on a snowball mic with a sock over it,
Right.
in your basement, you said, right? You prove that resourcefulness matters more than resources, right? So the question I have for you is, what advice would you give to a kid out there who's trying to pursue their dreams, trying to chase their dreams, whether it's an art, as an artist, filmmaker, whatever, right? What advice would you give to them? And more importantly, what advice would you tell them, especially if they feel like they don't have the proper resources or the improper support, you know?
Nobody cares more than you. One thing that I really live by is like, nobody cares more than you. So what I mean by that is, when you think people are looking at your shit, judging it, they don't care. Like, what you think they're going to say negatively doesn't happen. You've made that up in your mind. You almost have to go for it and understand that there is no limitations, no matter where you're at. When people love you, they love you for you. You've made them love you. When people don't love you, they don't know you. So you got to make them know you. So that's honestly what I had to learn. And in terms of resources, for the people that think they need KRK speakers and the fucking microphone that's $10,000, you don't. You honestly don't. You just need the passion, the ambition, the drive, the focus, the love. I tell everybody in the world, do not do things because you are conditioned to do those things. You don't need to do those things. You don't need to go and get a 9-to-5, but you can maybe go get a 9-to-5 to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to change your wording. A lot of people are like, I have to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
You get to go to work. Use that to fulfill your own needs, your own satisfaction. I use my job to fund my career, to fund my snowball microphone or my Logic Pro that was $300 that I had to pay for. Like, and just go for it as long as you love to do it. If you can spend 6 hours doing music, you're already better than the guy that can only spend an hour and that thinks he has it all figured out but doesn't love it. Like, people I've met with millions of followers that do music, bro, I'll sit in the studio with them. After an hour, they're tapped out. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Not feeling it today. Even if I feel that way, I stay in the studio. And when that putting in perspective is like, there's passion always beats talent. Wanting it more always beats what you're born with. It always does. You could be a prodigy at something, but somebody can be a prodigy at wanting it more than you.
Wise words from Realest K. Before we wrap it up, I got one more thing. Are you ready?
Someone gonna pop out or something? Like, is this weird?
Right here.
Okay.
I got this deck of cards, okay?
Okay.
There's 50 cards in here. And I want you to take a card that speaks to you, whether it's the top one, middle one, shuffle around, whatever. I want you to read the question, and I want you to answer it from the bottom of your heart, okay?
Okay.
Could be a simple answer, could be a long answer, whatever feels right to you, okay?
Okay. Wow. What is one thing you want to be remembered for? Hey, wow. I was talking about this to myself. I want to be remembered for the person that helped at least 1 million kids not feel alone. I want to be the person that people come to for voice of reason. that people look up to and just understand that I'm in it with them. At the end of the day, none of this comes with us. This room doesn't come with us. Chain doesn't come with us. Shoes don't come with us. Your soul, your spirit, who you are, comes with you. That goes. That determines who you are. I want to impact as many people as I can. And I want to be remembered for the person that made that impact for at least one person or two people. But 1 million kids, to be specific.
1 million kids.
1 million, man. I need at least 1 million of y'all to feel okay. Because those 1 million can take my teachings and
pass it on to the next person.
To the next, yeah.
It's beautiful,
Domino
bro.
effect, right?
Domino effect.
That's how it started.
Well said, my brother.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Realest K, thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you for
It's an
having
honor
me.
having you. It's a pleasure. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
I want to give a big, thank you to everybody watching. Be sure to stay tuned with us, like, comment, subscribe, check us out on all platforms. I want to thank the crew behind the scenes who's helped make this possible, helped build this amazing set, helped really get this place popping. I want to thank Realest K.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Seriously, you're a gem of a human. You're an amazing person. Sino, shout out to Sino.
Shout out Sino.
But listen, most importantly, I want to give a big round of applause to ourselves. Thank you. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Realest K, y'all. Thanks, bro.
Thank you.